Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
We are excited about this new year and all the possibilities that it brings. And so as we were thinking about our January M.E.R.G.E moment, I began to think about what people do this time of the year. And a very popular tradition is New Year's resolutions. People make personal New Year's resolutions, typically in the month of May after the holidays, and start kind of turning their focus toward what they want to accomplish in the new year. And so we were thinking about that for couples. Like, what do couples do to think about their goals and their resolutions for the new year? So we wanted to share a couple of items that we thought would be helpful to share with the audience of those who are making resolutions for 2025.
Correct.
And how that might help you. You might find one or two that you might like. So we wanted to share a couple of with you. The first one is relax. We wanted to remind you that it's so important in your marriage that you find time for quality time together, that you making time together in the new year. We know that, sometimes with the hustle and bustle, things can get really, really busy, but schedule time for your spouse. And it doesn't have to be anything extravagant, but going for ice cream or for a walk in the park, that's something that you could do together. That is something that helps to strengthen your relationship.
Even though when you're having a relationship, this is your resolutions. This is the time to think back everything that you between the spouse, what's going on, what's good and what's bad during our marriage. Just to see how we can do things better. And sometimes we may do things that our spouse dislike. It's not something major, but it's a dislike, and then we can talk about it and to see what we can do in the year ahead.
What? I do things you dislike.
That's correct.
Resolution that you can think about is revisit. Like,
correct.
What are some goals and plans that you may have made in the past that you maybe have forgotten about or put aside that you can revisit and bring back to the forefront? Yeah. And you and your spouse could talk about those things and figure out how you could incorporate those into your New Year's resolutions. Correct. For 2025.
Correct.
Reflection. Occasionally make time to reflect on what brought you together in the first place. Like, what was it about your spouse that drew you to them? Drew them to you? Like, what was it about them, their character, their personality? What drew you to your spouse? Take time to reflect on the character, that thing that you fell in love with in the beginning.
Correct. Yes. Sometimes when you see things like that, so you remember what the Bible said. When what God put together, let no man put asunder. Mm-hmm. And this is a very important when you have that, and then you can sit back and talk to your wife about it and say, you know what, now God got us together. Let's see what the future gonna bring.
So what drew you to me initially?
My love.
Whoa.
And see your name, remember?
Elaborate, please.
He just doing the phone call, and then I heard her voice. And then when I asked about her, and they said her name is Bernadette. And Bernadette is a French word. And then that attracted me about it. So,
well.
And then, after that, so the voice, bring me closer. And then I'm interested to have a date with her.
Well, now, there you have it.
What got you about him?
He was a sincere. Like, I really liked the sincerity. When we first met, he was about, he wasn't about a game. And so I was drawn to the fact that he was authentic and that he was looking for a real genuine relationship. Like, he was ready to settle down.
So in another way, you thought I was crazy.
No. He was ready to settle down. And so that was something a little bit different. So you didn't have to put it quite like that. But I'm just saying. But yeah, I thought that he was authentic, that he was ready to settle down in a relationship. And so that came across in sort of like our interactions. And so that kind of drew me to like just take a second look. Like, he seems like he's sincere and that he's serious about being in a relationship. Another thing is refocus. beware of distractions in marriage. You got to know that the enemy comes in different forms, and that he's always looking for opportunities to pull families and pull couples apart. So you want to be prayerful, you want to be mindful, and you want to make sure that you're keeping Christ, number one, head of your relationship and head of your marriage, and that you're refocusing some things, like being aware of those things that could pull you apart. Like, make sure that you're mindful of what those things could be in your marriage and your relationship.
Definitely, because marriage, this is your wife, and this, they said love your wife, and just almost like the same thing you love for yourself. That's the same way you love your wife, and also wife, it's I call it's a flower, so you have to take care of it. So you don't just look at the flower. If you don't pour water into it, so therefore it's not gonna flourish. So that's the same way you do with your wife. You have to bring things to the table where your wife, she's happy. You know what I mean? And then sometimes if you don't do that, you have to just sit down and communicate, because you may do something you think is correct, is right, but it's not right for her. So therefore you have to reconnect and to see exactly what's pleasing her and what's not pleasing her.
So making resolutions for your marriage is something that can help strengthen it, help it make your marriage stronger, healthy. People are making resolutions to lose weight. They're making resolutions to save more money. They're making resolutions to start that special diet, and spend more time with family and friends. So whatever works for you in your marriage, start today. How you want your year to go, and plan. Sit down with your spouse, make a plan. It could be just a vacation, but make a plan. Like, if you have a goal in mind that you want to reach by the end of the year, sit down and have a conversation and make that a routine. We do that often. We connect often and kind of do just a check-in, routine check-in with one another, just to make sure that we're on the same page, that we're on the same target, and that we're reaching for the same goals. So what are your 2025 resolutions for your marriage and for your family? We would like to hear from you. So drop down a comment and let us know what your plans are for 2025. And we look forward to hearing from you. And as always, happy merging.